Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Agora Models Optimus Prime, the thing I've been building for the last almost year. You can see him there. There is no box because, well, it came in 12 plain cardboard boxes. Well, almost plain. Just said Agora Models Optimus Prime and also had my address on it, so you're not going to see those. But yeah, you can see the figure here. And yeah, this was quite the journey to get here. And getting in close to see some details. You can see, look at that, it's got very metallic. A lot of this is die cast. You see metallic blue and silver right there. You got the red and some yellow lights there, and it's the silver on the windows, and some. You can see some of the detailing in there. And you got the grill and the silver and blue and yellow on the forearms. Everything. You got the stripes there, the big, huge smokestacks, and yeah, there's an Autobot symbol, which is 3D right there. You got translucent orange on the groin and on the waist piece, and got silver hips, and yeah, we're going blue and helix silver, a bit of yellow there. And coming down, yeah, you can see some detail there on the toes as well, some red and yellow lights. I'm gonna turn around real quick. You see some detailing also on the side here. Okay, you can see that is the arms. Behind this arm, you can see, hey look, there's a wheel, and yeah, come down, there's black striping, the fuel tanks and more wheels, and some holes there. Yeah, and on the back, yeah, you can see the back of the head. It's got some detailing in the back of the head too, and all that stuff. You got, yeah, some more detailing. They look like a spine and all that stuff, and some yellow and black and going down and all that stuff. And yeah, you can see more yellow and black and some silver and all that stuff. Look real good, actually. A lot of detail, which I'd hope so, considering his height and expense and everything. You can also see he barely fits in my review space. As it stands, you can see the edges of the review space on the very edge of the screen. But yeah, he's generally really good looking. Which, yeah, considering his near $2,000 price tag, I expect him to be real good looking. But he's also got actually quite a bit of articulation. Well, before I get to articulation, he also, a large chunk of this is die cast. There's unfortunately also some glue residue in here. I tried to clean it up as best I could before the review, but yeah, there's definitely some residue from the glue here and there, which is unfortunate. Yeah, there's a hole. But yeah, he's mostly, large chunks of them are die cast. Like, there's just lots of die cast. This bits, the silver bits down here are plastic, including a lot of size. Well, there's inner die cast. The lower legs are die cast, the arms are die cast, most of the chest is die cast, this is plastic. The head is largely die cast, although I believe these bits are, the face is plastic. The blue bits are die cast metal. Yeah, there's a lot of die cast on the guy, so he is really heavy. He is heavy, he's like 30 pounds, I'm not kidding. I can't remember the exact weight, but it's more than 20 because it weighs more than Unicron. Has'll have Unicron, which is I know is 20 pounds, including the stand. So he's a lot. But articulation-wise, he's actually got a pretty decent articulation. Yeah, he's got, right here you can see, head. It's pretty articulate. You got left and right. You got to be careful because there's wires in there, so you can't go too far. You got left and right. You got up and down. You got wiggle. The neck joint as itself has its own hinge, so you can look really far down using that. Everything. So yeah, that's pretty great. Just got to be careful with it because, again, there's multiple wires coming out of that. And for reasons I'll show in a little bit. Arm articulation. He does have full rotation here at the shoulder. I'm not going to show the whole thing because there's not enough room. But he's got full rotation there. He's also got out where you have to slide this out, but you only get that much, unfortunately. About 45 degrees or so from the body. Kind of sucks. I wish there was another joint in there so I could get further, but unfortunately there just is not enough, I guess, space for that. I guess there's not enough space for that. So, unfortunate as that. That's a bit unfortunate, but it's one of the few limitations this guy has, considering everything. And I know, as I built it. So he's got a bicep swivel right here. It's unfortunately kind of limited. That's as far as you go that way. That's as far as it goes this way. So you got that. Elbow. You got a double jointed elbow right there. And also the cool thing is these bits right here on the back actually move a bit when you bend the elbow, kind of. You see there's a piston right here, which is pretty cool. As for the hands, you can see there is a wrist swivel right there. There's also a hinge This bit also moves a little bit to kind of allow more movement. This one's also, unfortunately, the wrist swivel on this hand is a little loose because, well, first time building it, the right arm's better. This is largely my fault because, you know, it is a model kit. As for the actual fingers, there's pretty much full articulation here. You got a swivel, or yeah, you got a hinge right here on the thumb. You got a swivel right here. You got multiple hinges right, you know, 2 hinges on the thumb itself. You can see that. And the fingers, they all have a hinge at the base and a hinge here and a hinge here, so they all, you know, can all do that. Full curls of the fingers. And on top of that, there's splay, which is pretty great. You'll see the little big old slot, and also glue residue because, yeah, I've been cleaning it up here and there, but yeah, it does not like to go away. It just keeps coming back. So there's that, and yeah. So here's kind of the tricky part of filming this guy is coming up because, yeah, he's heavy. Have I mentioned he's heavy? Waist swivel, we got that much each direction as before a hard stop because at this point there's wires coming up from the legs, and any further, you know, you could start risking damaging the wires. So that's pretty much a hard stop right there. There's also an ab crunch. There's 2 ab crunches. There's one here at the base of the torso and one here in the middle of the torso. So you can bring him forward quite a bit. And he's pretty stable too. He's standing unassisted right now. The thing is, also cool here is, it doesn't work super great, but there's a spinal column. It's supposed to kind of, yeah, it doesn't work super great in my opinion. It's kind of a cool idea, it didn't really work in execution. Cool in concept, didn't really work in execution, unfortunately. So there's that. Hip skirts, yeah, they get out of the way, like that. You also get the side skirts to get out of the way, and also butt flaps. They only go, butt flaps only go that far. And there's also, again, you cut the wheel right there. It's actually, this is actual rubber. They also say Autobot on them, which is pretty neat. So yeah, as for that means our leg articulation, there is some, and this is going to be tricky because, again, he is really heavy. I'm going to try to bear with me. Yeah, so hips, you do have forward that far. Back does not go as far because the butt plate itself is limited, so I'm not going to try right now. Outward, you do have you do have that much outward. Whew, that's hard. As for the knee, yeah, getting down a little bit further. Getting down a little bit further. The knee here. Trying not to break anything or include myself. You do have a double jointed knee, which is pretty impressive. I'm going to come down here a bit. Down here at the feet, do have a bit of ankle tilt, but oh no, it's kind of limited thanks to sculpting. I do not worry. There's also a bit of forward and back as well. A little bit of forward and back. It's hard to manipulate. Yeah, there's a bit of forward and back, which is part of the reason he's kind of so wobbly. Unfortunately, it's a little scary. This wobbliness. But the cool thing is, oh yeah, that's not to the extent of his ankle tilt. There's actually, see these yellow circles on the inside of his leg. Right there. This part's a little bit tricky. But you can pull these out. You can actually raise the, you lower the foot a bit, put it back in, to lock it in place. Kind of hard to manipulate. Yeah, you actually get a bit more ankle tilt. Plus, there's now piston detail and whatnot, so you get a lot more ankle tilt. He also becomes a little bit taller. Yeah, so he gets a lot more range. You can see that. Yeah. That's the articulation, which, again, really impressive for, you know, something like this. That it's actually able to move like that. Whew. No, he does have a couple accessories and whatnot. One of them, probably not the least favorite of them, is the, there's a matrix right here, which can split apart, you know, like at the darkest hour. There's nothing to lock it together, though, unfortunately. You see, yeah, there's actual, like, finger holes right there. And also, see, he's got the, kind of the bronze is finished and silver and all that stuff. Both sides, you got some little circles and whatnot right there. It's pretty good. And also, you can see, if you open this up, you pull this away. Little magnets holding in place. There's a battery thing. It's LR57s, which are annoying to get. There's a little switch. You press that, thing lights up. Lights up on both sides. You can see that. Yeah, so you can do that. And I'm not going to show it completely. You can see it in the thumbnail of the part 13 of the build video. But yeah, the fingers can actually slip through here, if barely. You can slip through these holes, just barely, again. You can see that. I'm not going to try to do it. It's really difficult to do, particularly with the camera here, but you can slip through the holes. You can hold it pretty decently, although it kind of tends to sag like that. It tends to do this, you know, you see it's kind of sagging just because of the way it's built, so that's a little unfortunate, but it's kind of cool. Not my favorite accessory, though, to be honest. He also has his rifle, which is pretty cool because there's a couple things going on here. One, you could actually open up bits and pieces and see something like really cool, like detailing inside there. Like open that up, you can see there's more detailing, which is really cool. And you can open these up, even more detailing. Yeah, and this also has a light. You can see it right there down the barrel. You press up the magazine. You press the magazine up, and hey, look, light. And there's also a dimmer version, and then off. Yeah, that's powered by two AAA batteries back here in the compartment right here. That's pretty easy. And yeah, you can see there's tabs on the handle, which then, you know, you can hold it. Stop leaning forward, Optimus. It scares me when you lean forward, to be honest. Whatever. I'm here to catch him if he starts falling. But yeah, there's again, there's a slot in the hand. And yeah, you can loop the finger through the finger, you know, the trigger guard. Unfortunately, again, because I was, you know, I didn't do the greatest job of building the left hand. Fortunately, his grip on this hand is not solid. It's okay-ish, but yeah, it falls out really easily. But you can hold it. You can see that right there. It's not super great in that hand because, yeah, those fingers are... I've no real way to fixing that either at this point. The other thing he has, of course, is his axe. It's pretty cool. And for that, you just have to, well, pull one of the hands out. And there's a built-in mechanism for this. What you do is just pull the hand out. Like that. And yeah, see, it's on a block. You can slide this into the hole. Like that. And now he's got his axe, which is pretty cool. And there's a button right here. You press that, and now this lights up. This takes 3 LR44 batteries, which are pretty easy to get comparatively. Also, there's a blinking mode, and that goes off. So, that's pretty cool. Now, one other accessory, which is the remote, because he's got more lights and sounds. And to activate that, on the back side here is the battery compartment and switch compartment. This is held on with a magnet. You just, you know, pull this off. And hey, look, there's four AA batteries right there. You flick that to on. and he's ready to go on this side. No, it's not supposed to come off. I'll have to deal with that later, but yeah. Yeah, the cool thing, and then of course on the remote, right there, you press the Autobot symbol and that will light up, and then you can control his various functions. So you press this button right here, and his eyes will light up. You can see that, but yeah, his eyes light up, and you press it again. Now his eyes slowly pulsing. Press it again. Blinking. Press again, they blink faster, and press again, it's off. If you just want to turn it off, there's this button right here, which will just immediately turn it off. This button right here, turn on those lights. Press it again, they'll dim. Although here on camera they might be flickering a bit, but press them again and it turns off. And of course you can open this up right here. Open this up and open these up, and hey, look, there's a matrix, which is pretty cool. And it actually can come out kind of, but also the problem is you pull it out, it's just attached by a wire, because you press this button right here, lights up. Which is pretty cool. This is a better matrix overall. Again, you can also see a lot of glue residue in here. There's a lot of glue residue, which I've not cleaned up very well. And you press that again, it shuts off. So that's pretty neat. Yeah. Also mine, I think I did something slightly misaligned, because this door kind of struggles to close sometimes. And then down here at the feet, actually I'm gonna bring this down a bit. Down here at the feet, you press this button, feet light up, which is cool. Press it again, and now the yellow ones blink, like blinkers, and you press it again, they shut off. So yeah, that's the lights part of this. Probably notice those other buttons on the remote. So if you press this button right here, yeah, you get the transformation noise, which is pretty cool. Bring that back in. There. You press this one. Yeah, you get the original season 1 theme song from G1. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'm not sure about copyright stuff. Plus, it's pretty long. And then you got these two buttons right here. You press this one and...
Greetings, people of Earth. I am Optimus Prime. More than meets the eye. The Autobots need your help to defeat the Decepticons. Yeah, so yeah, you just get a couple, like about 4 or 5 voice lines. You press it again to shut it off. This one gets you another separate set of voice lines. Greetings from Cybertron. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. So yeah, that's another set of stock Optimus Prime phases. You also saw the faceplate moves up and down, which is pretty cool itself. You can kind of hear the motor whirring, but the speaker in there is actually loud enough. And there's also a little bonus Easter egg. If you press both the speaker buttons at the same time, happy birthday from Optimus Prime, you get that little thing, which is pretty neat. So you get the remote here. Yeah, this also takes 2 AAA batteries. It kind of feels cheap a little bit. Unfortunately, I wish this was kind of built a little better, but it is what it is. It works. I mean, it pretty much just works, so there's that. So, yeah, that's the electronics, which is, again, pretty cool. So as for some comparisons, this is going to be a little tricky because this guy's so massive. Here's Studio Series 86 Optimus, just to give you an idea there, how big he is. Okay, how tiny he is. Yeah, I'm going to show that in a little bit. Just because I feel like this one fits more aesthetically with this one. Here's MP10 Optimus. Again, you can see just how small he is, and yeah, coming down here, just a bit. Yeah, you can see just how tiny they are. Either one of them even comes up to his knee. And also, can't show it on this place, but there's definitely going to be a photo. I compared this to Unicron, previously the biggest figure I have. So he's a head taller at the head. He is a head taller than HasLab Unicron. He's massive. Measuring all the way up to the smokestacks, he is 31 inches tall. He's nearly 3 feet tall, or almost a meter tall. To just give you an idea, he is big. Yeah, so not only is he the biggest Optimus I own, he is the biggest figure I own, period.
This is not the biggest transformer out there. You know, recently there was that third-party Metroplex that just came out, which is, I think, it's pretty big. I don't remember exactly, but it's way bigger than this thing. I've seen how large that thing is in some videos. And there's also that, this is not even the biggest Optimus you can buy if you really want, at least when it comes to mass production. There's the Lewin Resources knockoff, oversized knockoff of MP10, which is 4 feet tall. Almost 1.5 feet taller than this thing. So that gives you an idea. So yeah, those are the comparisons I thought of to do, really. It's big. He is really big. So that's the thing about this thing. The other thing is the price. For me, it costs a little over $1,700 before tax. That's very expensive, but that was split up over the course of 12 months because he's one of those mail-away model kit things. So yeah, over the course of 12 months, you're paying for this one. For me, I paid $150 a month plus tax, and then you know, that all added up to, you know, over $1,700 total when it was all said and done. They have multiple ways of getting, you know, paying for it. You could pay up front. If you pay it all up front, you get all 12 boxes up front. It's slightly cheaper. I believe it's only $1,500. If you pay 20, you can pay split up between, like, there's also the first 6 months all in one batch, then the remaining 6 months over the course of 6 months. And then there's the 20 to 2 year option, 24 months. So those are all options to get this guy. They also offer a stand, but I felt it was not worth it, and it's like $200 to $300 again, depending on payment plan. $200 to $300 for the stand. And I've seen what the stand is like, and it uses that really cheap, thin, crinkly plastic for a large chunk of it. You know, I'm trying to think of what they use it for, but like, it's really cheap and crinkly. And you know, it's always one side. It's like super glossy white on one side, and the rest, you know, it's that sort of plastic. It's really cheap crap. It looks like cheap crap, so I'm like, wasn't really like, I was like, this is not worth $200 to $300. Yeah, but it is a model kit, and it does not transform, just in case you're wondering. If you got this far, you're like, but does it transform? No, it does not. It does not transform whatsoever. The heavy stylization would definitely prevent that. As it stands, it's really cool, though. But it's also, again, it's really big, so that's the thing, is there's several questions, basically, should you get this? Because it's still available on Agora Models website, exclusively through them, as far as I know. So, first thing is, do you like Transformers figures? Are you okay with Transformers figures that don't transform? If you aren't, you should pass on this guy. Do you like building model kits? If you don't, you should pass on this guy. Because he is, not only is he a model kit, he's a complicated model kit. There's a lot of screwing and whatnot. It all comes together. There's a lot of gluing, there's a lot of screwing, there's a lot of wire running. And whatnot, so that's another thing. And then also on top of that, he's, again, massive. Do you have the space for this guy? If not, you should pass on him. So yeah, and also, do you have a bad back? If you have a bad back, you shouldn't get this guy, because again, he's like 30, he's very heavy. He is not easy to lift up and move around, so yeah, if you have a bad back or something, you should not you should be getting this guy. So yeah, the other thing is, I didn't mention this at all, as for actual build quality, I personally found it fun because I enjoyed model kits. There was definitely some struggles along the way. The Allen wrench they provided eventually wore out about halfway through, and I had to use one of my own to replace it, because they had this weird tip that was designed to be worked at multiple angles, and it wore out. So then it was kind of useless. So I had to use my own. Several times there was definitely, I remember during the instructions for, I think it was one of the legs, it gave the wrong instructions, so it was telling you to use the wrong screws the entire time, which was annoying, because if you look at the left and right leg versions, it like tells you two completely different instructions for two different screws for that. A couple times where like they tell you to glue stuff you don't need to. A couple times where it's like this part doesn't fit right. There's a couple times where it's really easy to misalign something and not really notice until you're really far in. And also on top of it, the wiring was a huge pain. Getting all the wires basically are plugged into a control board in the chest, which was a pain in the butt to deal with, because that control board, all the wires, some of the wires are like way too short, I feel. It's like they gave, like the leg wires, they gave a lot of slack. So there's plenty of slack for those, but like the wire going from the switch in the back to the control board, really short, and it even broke. The plug that goes into the control board actually snapped. The plastic cracked, and I had to glue it together to get a plug in, because it was just, there was not enough slack, which was really frustrating. They kept doing this, like either give you too much slack when you don't need it. Like I know also the gun, for example, had way too much slack in the wire, so I'm like trying to jam the wire into this place and hoping I don't accidentally break something. And then you got stuff like the switch wire is way too short, so I'm like trying to get it all to plug in so I can jam this stupid thing in there. It was really frustrating, actually. That was the most frustrating part of the whole build. It's just the wiring, which is pretty typical of this sort of thing. But beyond that, it's actually pretty great, I would say. Some frustrations, but that's kind of typical of some model kits. Again, he's big, he's heavy, he's expensive, he's cool. But yeah, that's the thing. It's generally pretty good. Their customer service, I have no idea what their customer service is like. I've heard they're pretty decent. I did have a complaint a couple times. They give you some excess screws, which is good, because several times I kind of came to a point of, uh-oh, there's not enough parts for this one. I had to go dig through my box of extra parts and go get one of the extra ones, which thankfully they provide you extras. Yeah, it's generally, the build itself is fun, but it's also long. On average, parts 2 through 11 took me about 3 to 4 hours each. Part 1 took me about 2 hours, and part 12 took me 8 hours. So it's a lot. So that's another warning. If you're gonna get like the full, like all the sets all in one go, just realize what you're getting into. Yeah, beyond that, it's pretty darn good, I think. Most of this all fits together real well. I personally, as someone who likes building models, it was pretty fun. It's very challenging just because, it's kind of a step up from a lot of other model kits. And yeah, the only thing, again, is it is almost $2,000 and it doesn't transform, so that's going to put a lot of people off, because I know a lot of Transformers fans tend to be kind of frugal, shall we say, and don't like to spend a lot of money. So it's cool. But for a lot of people, it's not going to be almost $2,000 cool. It's particularly like, oh, you can get the low-end resources for $500 and it's bigger. It's like, yeah, but it's a knockoff and it transforms. Like, yeah, but it's a knockoff and stuff. And this is a cool model kit. And it's, yeah. So I don't know. Regardless, I think it was cool. I think it was worth it, but also just know what you're getting into. It is it is both a money and time commitment to do this. And yeah, I would say if this is going to be, you do not make this your first model kit. I'll say that much up front. Do not make this your first model kit if you're going to get into model building and stuff. But it is cool. It's also a pain. It's also pretty much fully posable, but it's a pain to pose because of its sheer size and weight. So it's a bit of a pain to pose on that front, even though the articulation's there. You just got to work for it, and I mean work for it. So yeah, that's it really. It's like, if you were just really into, if you're into these sort of things, if you like the subscription model service, it's really cool. It's fun. I liked it. I enjoyed building it. It was genuinely fun, and it's got a lot of cool features. The only thing is, yeah, if these lights ever go, that's it. That's the other thing I almost forgot to say. If any of these lights ever go, or the speaker goes, that's it. There's no way to replace them, because a lot of the stuff is glued in such a way there's no real easy way to get back to them if they ever go out. If the circuit board blows, the light goes out, or the speaker finally dies or something, that's it. It's useless. Granted, it's probably going to be years from now, but it's eventually going to happen. So it's great, but just be aware of all the possible shortcomings or just difficulties. So yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media. It's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee Man Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.